They say you not there, we stand, if I there, we fall. If we not celebrate, we do it for you. Voila, you forget it. You from Lower County, you from Maryland. Voila, you from Rewa Sessu. I'm a bastard, we own your river, I walk on the fine way. La villa, Kriwako, I love Liberia, oh yeah, yeah. Free land on liberty, Liberia, oh yeah, yeah. Oh yeah, yeah. I love Liberia, oh yeah, yeah. They play for me and you, Liberia, oh yeah, yeah. Oh yeah, yeah. You from Lower County, from Maryland.
Good evening, fellow Liberians. Good evening, wherever you're from. This is ELBC 99.9, and the program you're listening to is called Open Conversation. Open Conversation is a 2-hour current affairs program that talks about or that highlights the major happenings in the country, and we unveil the truth to the Liberian people, talking about everything happening in the political spectrum. Today is a beautiful and a colorful day, and today we are here to inform the Liberian people as we gear up for the elections on next week, Tuesday, and it promises to be firing. Tonight we have our in-house panelist, but my name is Washington Prince Stafford Jr., and I want to use this opportunity to say welcome and join the drive as we discuss Liberia and its permanence. Let me now usher in our in-house panelist this evening. Good morning, Daniel Nooks Thomas. Good evening. I'm sorry. He's Mark 3. He's off.
You're on.
He's off. Okay, he's on.
Good evening to you guys here at ELBC. It's also good to be back today. Like you said, it's a very interesting day. Lots of stuff to talk about. We're grateful for life, and we're very anticipative for the remaining days towards November 14th. So I'm happy being back here.
It's good having you as always. Let's go to the next now to the lone female, TT. Good evening.
Good evening, guys, and good evening to all of you joining us this evening. This is the day the Lord has made.
Let us rejoice and be glad.
And we're happy in that we are counted amongst the living. So let's do it. Today is Friday, and we go to the polls on Tuesday. Sunday will be the last day up to 12 midnight. Campaign closes on Sunday. And so lots and lots of interesting things are still happening in our country as we gear up to elect the one who's going to run this country for the next 6 years. So it is what it is. This evening, we will play host to the Coalition for Democratic Change USA chapter. We will have 3 of them, the Secretary General, and 2 others will be here this evening with us, and we will be talking more about what they are still doing here. I know you will say, yeah, they're still here, to elect President Weah, but what have they been up to? And have they been able to get others in the country from the U.S. who maybe registered and didn't come first to vote? What exactly are they up to? What are their hopes and aspirations? We will be talking to them this evening on our open conversation. But let's go straight into what's trending, because lots and lots of things have happened today in our country. So let me go back to you guys.
So Daniel, you are part of this this panel. So let's start with you. Take one trending issue from you, and we'll go round about.
So yeah, I mean, one of the latest that's trending this evening is with regards to the situation of Anthony Kuyongba there in Nimba. There were calls that gunshots were being heard, and that area that Kuyongba lives happened to be one of our, strongholds there in Nimba. And just a few days to election, this is happening, and he's come on attack. And before I came upstairs here, I also saw that the Senator, Prince Johnson, as he always would do, had a very short live broadcast where he was distancing himself from what happened and said, in fact, it was Kuyongba who initiated the attack against him and Senator Kuhn. And I think he said one person died in the process and few others were taken to Sanikwele, but the doctors could not treat them, so they had to bring them to Ganta at the Methodist Hospital, where he left them, and then he had to go to his house to do a press conference. These things are happening.
Did he say somebody died?
Yes, he said it. Live, the live videos there. You can
His
listen to.
podcast you can listen to.
Yeah, that.
Wow. So who killed the person?
Of course, he will have to shift. We saw him shifting the blames on
If any kidding,
Antonio Cuerpa and his team. That's what he was. That's what he said in his podcast. But you see, Titi.
But we also listened to Kumba. He was on the radio. We also listened to what he had to say, and what he said didn't resemble anyone. That it didn't appear that somebody died.
But Senator Johnson just said it on his podcast.
No, the reason why I'm saying this is because Isaac asked him to explain, and he explained himself. Right? We'll talk about what he said, but then Isaac asked because earlier there were calls from different people who said that there were people were firing gun out. They heard gunfire, and so. When Isaac asked Kumba whether he heard gunfire, he said, and if so, who fired? He says, if anybody fired any gun, it will be Senator Johnson and his men because they were fully armed. They had some security people around them.
Senator Johnson attested to that.
And the lady who called, who was with around Senator Johnson, who called and accused the Kumba and his group, she also talked about gunfire, and she said they arrested some people. So Isaac asked her, who did the arrest? You arrested people? She said, the police arrested people. Then she came back and said, well, we arrested people and the police came later on because the police was way back. So it kind of sounded fishy. But Kumba said that they took some of his men and went with them. Now I'm hearing you say that Senator Johnson said that somebody
one person died.
He had a live podcast.
So
he had a live podcast.
So that person, the person who died, is it one of his men?
We don't know. He didn't say.
He didn't provide the information.
But what I was trying to learn at is just yesterday. A Turkish press conference was held with Monsieur Pare and Amos Twe. Today, Senator Johnson, the two senators, one the vice tenant bearer for the Unity Party, and the senior senator of Nimba County goes into a district where Anthony Kuyongba resides and is currently campaigning. A contention arises.
Let me hear you then. Not currently campaigning, but should be the one campaigning because he had a program there today. And according to him, Senator Johnson and his men were told by those who are responsible that Kumba is having, a ceremony.
Yeah, I was getting there.
Okay, go ahead. Go ahead.
It was on the basis of the ceremony that Anthony Kumba had already scheduled for that particular district. Upon getting the information that he was having that, because according to the last election results by districts, the Coalition for Democratic Change garnered a lot of votes in that very area. So they must have planned within themselves to embark on a strategy to instill fear in the people through a violent outbreak between the residents there, Kuyongba's team, and the senators. And they succeeded to some extent because if he said on his podcast that one person died and another group of people were taken, in fact, he was clear. And he explained it as though there was no remorse. And he didn't just stop there. He went on to justify the actions of his people by saying that if President Weah thinks he's going to rig elections in this country here, the world will be watching because we want peace.
How does that
and we understand, we know what they're trying to do. So nobody has got violence more than any of us. If they want violence, if Kuyongba and his team will continue, if we retaliate, it's going to get worse. Senator Johnson, a sitting senator, was saying that on a podcast. Instead of showing remorse to the families or those who were either wounded or the person who he allegedly said died, he was trying to justify the fact that President Weah has intentions to rig the election. A replay of what they started. You see, it is the same strategy from the first round. The same thing happened in the first round. The FOIA crisis erupted and 2 persons died in FOIA. Today, Senator Johnson and Senator Coon goes into another district that is CDC, how you call it, or campaign, is having a program and took a lot of people there. Then he's saying to the public that in fact they were honored, they had no security when they called for security because Koyomba people were attacking them, and then the police sent 3. And they said it wasn't enough, they had to send a pickup. Okay, so what happened in the event? How did this person die? Where did the guns come from? Was it the police that fired the guns? Because people were calling the relatives in Monrovia. They were saying the shooting in our district here. And he came up to justify that. So he is saying to us, the same tactics they used during the first round to instill fear in our people. Now this time around, they have taken it to Nima because of several reasons. One, Edith Gwangwe has joined the campaign trail. And she's been doing a lot of turnarounds in Nima with regards to the votes. And a lot of people are coming all out to support the president in that part. If they lose Nima County, or if we tie with them in votes or cut the vote down by 80%, it will mean, of course, they're offline. There's nothing they can defend. So what they're doing now, they are spot checking places where we have our strongholds or where major campaign activities are going, and people are being realistic of what the president has done. Now they want to create violent disruption in those places. You listen to just as you know, there's been a sequence of events that has pointed to today, and if care is not taken, it's going to point to the 14th of November or after the 14th of November. Amara Kone, who all of a sudden focused all of his time on his campaign activities in Bapulu. After he won Bapulu, he decided to become a militia lead. He admitted on a radio program that they hired a private security firm to train their people. How can you, in these electoral times, train your people for what? He posted to say they will deploy them across the country to mine their votes. He didn't stop there.
Did you say he said they hired a private security firm?
In fact, we had Honorable Gray on the line this morning. If he's listening, maybe he will call back. If Honorable Gray is listening to the program, he will call and tell.
Is there a recording to that?
What Honorable Gray said, he listened to he had a radio talk show this morning. He appeared on the radio this morning. I think it was Voice of Liberia or something. He appeared on this morning, and he stated clearly. He said they've hired a private security firm. He also admitted that the guys that was brought into the country were brought to train the people to be able to look after the votes in the different polling places.
How
fine.
are they going to do that?
So these, they're bringing up situations that has the propensity to cause chaos, and they're admitting. A few weeks before elections, one of the breakaway youth from the United Party had a press conference with Mayor Koji, where he said he had nowhere else to go, but he had to come and admit. One thing he said major in that press conference that is manifesting today was that General Bodnike, who has just announced that he has formed the Rescue Soldiers, and he is the one leading the Rescue Soldiers. This guy said Bodnike was currently training men in his compound in Barclay, or what the place he lived, Mount Barclay.
But that is no secret. I don't know, I'm not a security person, but this has been in the news for a very long time that General Bodnike, who claims to have a place where he is treating people who are on drugs. Those guys who are taking over there.
Have you seen the people?
Those guys who are taking over there are trained every time and every day by Bodnike. I know of people who thought that he was doing that to get those guys off, of the substance, right? But few of them had to take their children from there because the children complained that Bodnike was teaching them how to fight, to be rebels.
So you see,
That's what he was teaching them.
So you see?
So they had to take their children from there. So I'm surprised that even the security has not done a check on, on Butt Naked, because what he's doing over there is he's not rehabilitating anybody. He's training those guys who he has over there. And these parents take their children there. They pay money. It's not free. They pay a lot of money there. They pay a lot of money. And what he does is he teach them how to be fighters, child soldiers. That is what he's doing in his compound, allegedly. And when we've been hearing that, I'm surprised that nobody has gone there to really check
even
and
after
see what exactly he is doing over there.
Even after the young man had a press conference, and he stated clearly that he was even tortured to some extent by some of the men that's been trained by Born Again in the compound. Just a few days to election, Born Naked comes up and announces that he has formed a group to protect those called rescue soldiers. A man who posts the Bible in the phone, but deviously
But that guy is
conspire to create crisis in our country. And we sit here and we think that these are normal. But the same thing with Senator Johnson.
Of course.
They use the church. They use the church as a bastion, whereas the deeds are to overturn our country and put it into crisis. They are not sincere. So what is happening here is that the Amara Kone, Sabasi Moa, all these guys from the other United Party, they have one mentality. If we lose these elections now, United Party is done and dusted. We are gone. So whatever we do, let us ensure that Josh Weah does not win the election. Even if it means that we create chaos in the city, because that is a plan. All of the concentration right now. So what they've done, those people they deploy according to them in the different southeastern counties, is to put fear in our people in the southeastern counties to prevent them from coming all out to voting their numbers. So when they reduce the southeastern vote, then they will tension people like what Prince Johnson and Kun did today in areas in Nimba that CDC have votes, and then create serious tension for those people, and they get afraid, and they will stay in the home saying if you come out, you got to put their tribal people. Okay, already hearing now that one of the son or daughter has died, according to he himself admitted. And he's not taking the blame. Government, like today, the joint security had a press conference and they said that they're on top of the game. We believe as a government we're on top of our game, but we should continue to expose these people because it also helps our people in these different places. Like you hear callers from Nima today will call and they'll tell you exactly what happened. They will give you true version of the story, contrary to. And Senator Johnson is always the first when he caused a problem to have a live podcast. The same man who accused the president many times of wanting to kill him, in the end he will go to the church and be the first person to fire the attack. Okay, this is the same Senator Johnson who has currently run to have a live Facebook video to distance himself exactly from what has happened. You see, this is something we will be very careful with.
Daniel, you see the strategy that have been employed by the folks, the Senator Johnson, the Butt Naked, the Jeremiah Cohen, the rest of the other people. I think these strategies, like you said, these strategies are strategies meant, to deprive the people and deny them of turning out, to vote. But I think our responsibility should be we should encourage our people. We should encourage the Liberian people that all of these trivialities, all of these petty and naive strategy being orchestrated by Senator Johnson and his folks and the Butt Naked and it should not deter the people from coming out to vote.
Yeah, but again,
and the police must be on top of their games.
Yeah, if you say it's a petite and naive strategy and should not deter the people, I want to hold you there small. What happened in that district today, that very town, that according to Senator Johnson, a man lost his life, and people were calling that they were gunfires. It's not a weak one. Okay, it's not a weak one. It's not, because if care is not taken, what's his name? These people are all out. They already know that President Weah is going to win elections. So the only thing they can do is to create a crisis that will prevent us from going through these elections transparently,
democratically.
And I love the way how the joint security press conference reiterated the commitment to support peace and security in our country. But what I also want to say, Titi, is that our international partners has got to look into these matters, because I haven't really heard from any of our foreign nations up to present the threats that were issued yesterday by the United Party on grounds that if the elections are rigged, again the same thing, Robert Parler, in his own words, Liberia will be a chaotic place.
Yeah, we can destabilize this place.
Thank you. We have the men, and they were posting.
Yeah,
so it tells you that there is a hidden reliance. There's a reliance that they've worked on. So Paul making learning here, all of a sudden leaving his church and being the head of Rescue Soldier was something that was birthed long ago. It was a plan that was
men who's on the
they were just waiting maybe for funding to come.
Yeah.
Okay. The issue of cyber hacking for our dual electoral process, the second round. If you sincerely and clearly know within yourself that the president is unpopular and you can win the president, why are you paying hackers to come to Liberia to hack or to intercept electronic feeds that are intended to transmit from where you are to the National Election Commission headquarters results, to alter them before it gets there? Why are you instilling fear and creating violent situation for the very people who you say are going to vote for you? Okay, why are you creating a group called Rescue Soldier that is being led by a once notorious rebel or head?
Then I was coming.
So this is something I come in Washington before you come in. So this is something that we mustn't take sitting down. The people in these districts have to be very alert, because Senator Johnson will go to them and use his old tactics that he is the godfather of the county. And in the end, instill fear in these people and tell them, say, you see, the government now, they won't create problem. So you should not vote for them, you stay away. Our people in the rural parts of Liberia, these people are tribally inclined. Something that they believe will affect them, that will come from somebody who they think that godfather. We need to start to nip these things in the bud. And by doing this, is what we're doing. Enlighten our people that these people are not out for good. Listen to the messages in the last few days. If a Mo Ali can come up and say that the national, in all audacity, that the National Election Commissions are now replacing polling officers and poll staffers in the various places with seditions, when in the first place the very ECC, the Election Commission and international partners, were part and parcel of those people who were trained in the different places. So in order for you to even replace these people, to say CDC is waiting in Memphis, can't your solution?
It's not possible for you to even replace them.
You're talking about over 300 to 400 persons that you gotta deploy, and you say all of these people are sedition. Nobody is here to criticize or to even come up with a report regarding this. These are things that they are pre-instilling in the minds of our people, that because these poor rations that are in different places are allegedly seditions, our votes will not be protected. That is the reason why they are maliciously saying now that they have hired private security firm. I've never heard it before. I thought the private security firm will provide you security as per law.
Yeah.
But you were saying you're sending your people to the private security firm to be trained, which validates the statement the boy made that Boy Naked was currently training people in his compound. So these people allegedly have been trained. We are not reaching the private security, but guess what? They're going to put people outside. The CMR College supported the training of 800. You saw in Nova one group that were in a red band and a red t-shirt, and they said they were I know they were united to protect Nova. I'm not calling the same people. They spend money to train those people and made them to behave like they were malicious. So this is something that they do right before our eyes to threaten the peace and security of our country and instill fear in our people. With just a few days to go to elections, look at what happened in Nima County today. Somebody just lost. This person woke up this morning, perhaps.
Allegedly.
Woke up this morning, but Senator Johnson said it. He said somebody died. The podcast is there. If we find it, we play. This person woke up in the morning with all anxiety. It could be a United Partisan vote or a CDC vote. The person lost the life because he's a Liberian. Out of somebody's huge appetite to disrupt our peace and security in our country, but yet pretending that they are sins.
What I was trying to say, Daniel, I'm telling you, politically and constructively, these people are weak-minded people. So they are developing ideas and strategies.
Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead.
They are developing ideas and strategy to derail the peace of the country. Now, I was saying our responsibility is to inform and continuously inform our people that these strategies, strategies been developed by Senator Johnson and the rest and the rest of the folks should not deter.
No, it shouldn't.
It should not deter the people from turning out.
But we will protect our
because the people who support Senator Johnson and Senator Cole and the rest of the other folks and Senator and Bot Nikki and Senator-elect Amara Connor and the rest of the folks, they are prepared because they are concording with the dubious actions, with the dubious actions of these people being employed. So if the people who these actions are affecting, if they stay in their corners, the elections might be different. So we must encourage these people. Ladies and gentlemen, don't mind these actions. The police is on top of the game. Come out in your numbers. Go and express your political rights. Don't think that Senator Johnson has all right to tear this country apart. No, he cannot influence, his dealings. He cannot put his powers on Nimba County. The people have their sovereignty. They have their right. They have every right to elect whomever they want to elect. And that's Senator Johnson dictating to Nimba County what in the first place. Why did he even go to where Kulonka was having his program?
And he knew the man.
Why did he even go there?
Anyway, where he was having the program.
So it tells you, it presupposes that these people are up to something different. They are up to something violent. So when our people start to see a violent reaction from these people, they tend to be afraid. And when they tend to be afraid, what happens next? They go in their corners and in their closets. They want to come out. So we must encourage them to come out.
It is very unfortunate and deviously a saddened entity to see the Bible being misused,
being abused
in the hands of notorious people masquerading as clergymen. Nowhere in a civilized society will such a thing happen. You go behind a pulpit on a Sunday and you form a group called Rescue Soldier.
Yeah.
With the mindset in Liberians that you fought, you didn't just fight, but you really slaughtered people. And you are coming back and you have a group called Rescue Soldier. You have a vice tenor bearer who, a few weeks during the first rounds, who goes in open air and says children of Nimba County were taken to Grand Bazaar and sold for $5. So Nimbayans should vote in because they need justice. This is the same vice tenor bearer, a man who claims to want to rescue Liberia, returned to Grand Julia County and says that our sons and our daughters were thrown in well and buried by Grand Julians. Senator Yahya is not from the coalition of Democratic Change. He condemned it. Senator Yahya said, this is the beginning. Fellow Liberians, this is a serious matter. The Jeremiah Cole who preaches to be the Joseph is actually out for revenge. As in his own words, we'll have that clips and we'll play the country will listen before the 14th of November. You will hear in Jeremiah Cole's own words how Nimbayans were sold for $5. And those mothers and those fathers want justice for the children that were sold. What kind of justice? How are you going to get the justice? He didn't stop there. The young babies and whosoever called on him that were thrown in the well and dog. We are on reconciliation, and Senator Cole is bringing back. We are on reconciliation, and Senator Cole here is bringing back the scourges of yesterday. But he was responded to sharply by Senator Yahya. Senator Yahya said that Grand Julia County will reject the Unity Party ticket in all totality because Cole is a dismal of a senator. And it is even saddening to him that a statement of Joseph Boakai has not responded to that. For Cole to say that Grand Julians place children away and bury them is the strangest thing. A senator elected by the people is supposed to do two things. After post-war Liberia, reconcile the people, number one, and foster development in the country. But this is a man who goes around, who wants to be the vice chancellor bearer, quote unquote, subsequently become the president, because the plans, obviously, maybe Joseph Boakai is just a sheep amongst wolves, but he hasn't seen it yet. And says these things, saying, yeah, this is the county, Grand Julia, from all of the things he said. And today they're going in their own county and they are causing millions for the people in Nimba. You think they put deserve what happened today? What will cause you to allow Anthony Kwamba to have his program? He is the son of Nimba County as well. Do you know what you're going to be bringing out? You know, if the family starts to have a different thought.
But the man was assaulted today, according to him.
Exactly.
He was assaulted by the guy who won Wallow and another person he called.
He called the Wallow man too. If you listen to Johnson,
Yeah.
that was him.
He said it was Senator Johnson called the
I think the Wallow was sick with that people.
So he I will just say a little bit of what he said, but we will edit that clip, play it tomorrow.
Yeah.
We'll be here tomorrow night. We'll play that because this is a very serious issue. The guy said it was already discussed last night because they wanted to make sure that the Senator Johnson group understand that they already have a plan
To have a program.
And Johnson and his group were told that Kwamba is having a program here. And as a result, you guys are not allowed to come here because we don't want electoral violence. And they said they would just come and pass. And these guys,
And the passing there.
they said they would come and pass. So he was not even, the people were gathering and he was coming walking with two guys, and then he saw the Wallow and then another person, I don't remember the name of the person, and then he knows them very well, and so he spoke to them and they said, oh my man, we came for you, man. I said, came for me for what? Say you gotta join MDR. Man said, join MD. My man, stop playing our phone, man. Say, my man, you gotta join MDR. You need you. And the man said, no, but I have my own. You guys know, like 3 friends, just
Having chit chat.
having chit chat. When he looked, the number started to increase. And then they said, my man, you have to join us. You think you will go and
By
support?
force.
Yeah, you support my man. That they think they're getting serious now. And they started using profane languages. So he said, no, you can do that. Stop. You can do that. And then the other guy said, my man, use the baton on the man.
Yeah, hit him with a baton.
And I hit him with it for the first time. And he said, oh, but this thing is, when you don't expect people to do certain things to you and they're doing that. And it started getting serious. He was surprised that they would do such a thing
I
to
told
him.
you, I said the people are lazy in ideology. How do you beat somebody to join your political party?
And the 2 guys
What is
who
that,
were with
Daniel?
him tried to help him, but it was kind of difficult. He said they hurt his finger and all with all the, they assaulted him. And then they got back in the car because like the crowd was coming around and they, with all of they had gunmen with them. That is why Isaac, because I don't want to say what he didn't say. I think we will because we have the recording.
And we'll play let the country listen.
Yeah, and then we get the Prince Johnson's, recording.
In the live he did.
And play it, and
Correct.
people can be the judge. But my thing is, that man said one thing today. The area they're talking about. I don't know. And Biable, what?
So I think on the song we have played. Sorry.
Some
The name is hard.
yeah, but that place, the CDC, because of Kwampa's, family lineage and his link with the CDC,
He got a lot of
CDC
votes.
got a lot of votes from there.
We got the highest number of votes in that area too.
And he said, Prince Johnson is the reason why I have not won elections here, because he will always come here and campaign against me.
Yeah.
But I'm not deterred by that because I know President George Weah will win the votes in this area, and President Weah will win the elections, and Prince Johnson will not be closed to the power that be, and it will be okay for the people of Nimba. And I said, okay, I see why Senator Johnson, he's losing it. Senator Johnson, with his closeness to former President Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, he was a kingmaker, kingmaker. That guy, anything he says, that's a finder. The other guy we hired from Nimba County said the same thing. Logan said that, and even the defeated representative, what is the old man's name? Who joined? He's from the Larry Young.
Larry Youngquay.
Yeah, Representative Yankwa said it. He said 65% of the people, the local government structure in Nimba County, Prince Johnson will say, I'm the one who's going to dictate who you appoint to this position. And he gains from that. But Senator Johnson says to himself now, he knows that he's losing it. President Weah is going to win these elections, and what it's going to mean for him, because he would not have that standing anymore. That is why
He's all out
at
desperately.
all cost, He's desperate as the Bade,
Violent and desperate.
as the Tue, and whoever the Kabakoli. All of them are desperate, and they sit down and just plan all of these things. But like you said, Liberia and Liberians are seeing all of these things, and Liberians do not want to divert. This stream is on its path to prosperity. And it is not because of anybody's selfish interest that Liberians are going to sit down. And so, my people, we need to get out there, go to the polls. Don't be afraid, because that is what they want to do.
Fear tactics.
They're scared. They don't want to lose. And they think that they can instill fear in people so that people don't turn out to vote.
Exactly.
And if you listen to them, their wishes, will come to pass, because they want to destabilize the country. They don't have anything that the
messages are not substantive.
They don't have anything that they hold preciously than being in power. When they're in power, that is the only way, they can survive. And if they don't have power, they believe that nobody should have rest. Nobody should have peace. The ordinary Liberian man wants to go to bed and sleep sound. When he wakes up in the morning, if he has dry rice and body, he will eat that and be grateful to God that there is no gun sound. But the likes of Senator Johnson, the things he did, those things are haunting him. He got blood on his hand. He got blood on his head. And all he does is think about doing wickedness. That's all I can say. All he thinks about is just being wicked to other people. He thinks that he's God unto himself. Whatever he says, you don't have a say. When Senator Johnson says to you, you must follow me, you must do this, you have to do it. And that is not true. People can see, they read between lines. They know you have not done much for them. They believe that another person should be given a chance to do it. Because you are the same person who brought this George Weah to these people and say, this is your son. And they see what their son is doing. You come back and say, no, I am telling you, don't vote for this man.
Politically
and they
inconsistent.
say to you, no, we're not going to do that, because we understand exactly what this man is doing for us. And you say, if you don't do it, I will kill you. Senator Johnson, you don't have any power anymore.
Coerce the people to do what?
You don't have any power anymore.
We're not fighting war here.
Butt naked. The people you kill to Greystone or at Greystone, where we all were. Every morning you will wake up in the morning, you come naked to Greystone. You slaughter people. And you think that this country is going to go back to the dark days. War unto you, because that is not going to happen. That is not going to happen. We have to wake up on election day, go to the polls, and we will elect President George Weah as the next president of this country, and nothing you guys will do about it. You will just, for nothing, just talking because you have mouths and you think that you can instill fear in people, and you don't have the power to do that.
And Titi,
our guest will soon be here.
Yeah, and the reality also is, fellow Liberians, especially my young colleagues in my age group and a little above. 1990 war, our parents ran around this place with us. That was as a result of Senator Johnson and a few others who carry guns around here. But then former Vice President Bwaka was the chairman for Lofa Defense Force. We ran around this place. Our mothers had to carry us. The war is over. Post-war Liberia, we're heading towards development. Are we saying that Senator Johnson, who has already garnered 27 years, he's going to be the longest serving senator, he's willing to destroy the future of our young people selfishly, only because he has got no place at the table of the president?
Yeah.
So he wants to create another president that he will control?
It's all about him. Liberia is for him.
Liberia is not Senator Johnson's property. Let us not fool ourselves. Liberia is not Omer Bwaka's property. Liberia is not Monsieur Pade's power farm. For them to come here and say to us that if they do not win these elections, there's going to be a chaotic environment. We challenge them. We will not run around with our children in this country anymore. The same thing that makes them men, which are men. We have a government that will defend this country against any threat of peace in our country. The international community is listening. It is important that we take this very seriously. So our fellow Liberians, you don't be afraid. Come the 14, go all out in your number and go elect. They did the same thing on the first round. They try to scare you. And then they change. I listen to Senator Johnson boasting.
The people.
Yeah.
They thought they could scare the people.
Can you imagine? You see, the entire Unity Party, I think they do not understand what's the meaning of majority.
They understand. Don't even say they don't.
To say that the Liberian people don't want President Weah, but yet he won you the first round, but they don't want him.
You don't have money to even pay pool washers, but you can pay somebody to go and hack the system. And what kind of thing is that? We're practicing democracy. If you people don't know, you better know now. We're practicing democracy. The will of the people will prevail. Anything you do, whatever you do, you're doing it to yourselves, because if the majority of the people in Liberia vote for Joseph Yuma Boakai to be president, that's fine. But you would not. You were not in this clear, broad day, and you think you can twat, the decision of the Liberian people because you feel you carry people to Grand Jide County and your man was caught, and you think you can instill fear in people. You're joking. We will go to the polls. We will elect the president of this nation, and nothing you do about it. Senator Johnson, you would not be close to power anymore.
One of the followers here that's in Turkey said, Lisa Dakina says, my late father was a victim of Prince Johnson, who almost took my father's life because he worked for the late Doe's government.
The man whose son you want to kill today, you worked for his father.
They were friends. Koba, Thomas were saying they were buddies.
Let our guests just join the conversation here, because this Senator Johnson man is just another.
So when we get the excerpt together, we'll play. For people.
Yes, we'll play that. We'll play the excerpt tomorrow.
Yeah, tomorrow.
We'll play the excerpt tomorrow, and we have another excerpt that we'll play tomorrow.
Maryland, Tuesday.
Yeah, Maryland is right.
Today or tomorrow? Tomorrow.
We'll play that one tomorrow.
Maryland is 2 or 2.
You don't want to see what the people did to John Palut in Maryland County, but we'll play that one for you tomorrow. You think what they did to
Pani
was big.
Yeah, I saw the part when you put your hair right in there. Get a toddler, young baby walking.
Yes, because he was a
bunch of cowards. You want to her and you get strength?
How you have strength? How will you have strength?
Let's say opposition.
To offer the people. You have not done anything for the people, and you go back. You want to dictate to them who to be their leader. Who are you?
So the Labrampo guy will occupy the houses. That only Senator Johnson and Joseph Boakai got occupy.
Okay, so our guests are already with us this evening. We'd like to welcome you to Open Conversation again. Sorry.
Second time.
Yeah, they've been here before.
Okay.
Your mic is what? Is it 6? Is it number 6?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. This mic is what? Okay, maybe we need to take a short break. Let's take a short break and.
From the east to the west, north to the south, let's come together as one. They say you're not there, we stand, divided we fight. If we not celebrate, we do it for you. While you forget that, you from Lower Country, you from Maryland, while you from Rewa Cess. I'm a bad that way, oh, young people, I have a funny fine way. Tabila, I love Liberia, oh yeah, yeah. Free land on liberty, Liberia, oh yeah, yeah. I love Liberia, oh yeah, yeah. Play for me and you, Liberia, oh yeah, yeah. Oh yeah, yeah.
I was raised in the swamp, but I chilled with my guns. Kept it on the low, but we fought for the boom. True son of the soul, I'm a prince in my own. Never gonna lie, me, I love LIB. Even though it's far, when we show we can face it. It's not a prophecy, I know that we can rise again. Holding my hand, I holding your own. United, we stand, divided, we fall. You know what I say when I come with ball. When I chill on that side, and I get no bro. I got L to the O to the V and the E. If we fighting together, we can conquer this team. From the east to the west, then waving the flag from the north to the side. Yeah, I'm joining the team. You go where you pella, you lama, I'm crown. Who kill it? Who got stoned?
I love Liberia, oh yeah, yeah. Free land on liberty, Liberia, oh yeah, yeah. I love Liberia, oh yeah, yeah. Play for me and you, Liberia, oh yeah, yeah. Oh yeah, yeah.
Mama was born, yeah. Papa was born, yeah. They hold us together, the honey boy, yeah. Nabalike na koya bake na papa kobo. Nabalike na koya bake na papa kobo. Ngabali bola bo, ngababa bo, ngabali bola bo, ngababa bo. La biro waka poma o, la biro waka ma o. Banganda anwa waka ma o, anwa waka ma o. Anwa
From
fele.
the east to the west, north to the south, yeah, let's come together as one. Up to the south, yeah, let's come together as one.
And of course, let's come together as one. Our guests are already pretty seated. We have, I will let them introduce themselves. Gentlemen, welcome to Open Conversation, and please introduce yourselves.
Thank you ever so much. By the way, my name is Cyrus Momo Sambola. I'm the National Secretary General for the Coalition for Democratic Change in the United States of America and the Deputy Secretary General to the Diaspora Affairs on this national campaign team.
Welcome, sir.
Thank you. My name is Clyde Wilson. I am the Special Representative for CDC USA in Liberia, and it's a pleasure having us again.
My name is Prince N. Sharif. I am the Deputy Secretary General of CDC USA, and I'm also the co-chair on the media team for the diaspora.
Okay.
Strong people.
Deputy co-chair on the media team. You're the secretary, you're the deputy secretary, right?
Right.
Okay. Welcome again. I think the last time we didn't have you in studio, but we had Mr. Wilson and Mr. Sambola. And you guys are still, did you go back to come for the runoff, or you've been here throughout?
We've been here since we came down for
The first round.
the first round. We've been here. We're going to make sure, like my son usually say,
Can you come a little closer to the mic?
yeah, we're going to be here until we see, like my son usually say, May in China. So what do you mean, May in China?
Go back on the bed.
And I said, May in China is mean that we eat all of the food and see the
The
last point. So we're going to be here until we see the finish end of this election to make sure that the president is re-elected.
Okay.
Well, I've been here for about 2 years now, and I resigned, like I told you when we were here the last time. I resigned my position in the States and moved to Liberia, and this was the moment to come and help to re-elect this president. So we've been working, building relationships, building alliances with other people to ensure that what we are experiencing today can be sought to the end. And one thing, Titi, to also add, this is unique because it is under this president's leadership that we all can come and exercise that franchise as a result of the dual citizenship. And I always talk about it because it's a big deal. It's a big deal. So we are thankful to him to make that happen officially, that I can have, or he can have, and he can have a Liberian passport.
It's really a big deal. Before Prince comes in, since you brought that up already, so
Yep.
it tells us that before President Weah's presidency, even though there were people in the diaspora who supported the Unity Party-led government,
Sure.
but they didn't have that opportunity to come back home and vote for their candidate because they had American citizenship, and that didn't permit them to
Sure.
take part in our elections, right? And it's under our President Weah now that you can be out of Liberia, you can hold citizenship out of Liberia, and still come back as a dual citizen to form part of the electoral process.
That's a big deal.
And Titi, just to add to what you said, the president had a logic that pointed to the fact that Liberians that may have left Liberia or went to other countries and developed over the period of time do deserve a place back home as Liberians. But guess what? Folks like Senator Delors reduce the president's logical reasoning to the president wants to give his son Liberian passport. I'm very convinced that today Senator Delon may have helped many of his family members in the West or other parts to earn an Liberian passport.
Sure.
You see, vision, and the president calls all of them around the table. Say, let's do this.
Sure.
Say, I saw Gambia doing it. I saw other countries doing it. Let's have our brothers and sisters be a part. Somebody said, the people who can't take our job. You're looking for your country's development and you're talking about job.
Sure.
So I mean, I just wanted to add that.
And to also underscore the point you just made, the president was looking beyond political alliances, political affiliation, because it's for the greater good of the society. So it's for the greater good of the country in terms of development. So the president did not see a Unity Party person, did not see a CDC person, and so you name it. So I mean, if we can have this happening under this president and many other things that we'll talk about tonight, it's great.
And I'm sure a lot of Unity Party partisans are here too now to vote for their party because they have an opportunity to vote. But they didn't see that when he saw that. Let's come to you, Prince. Did you just come? Did you vote in the first elections, or you just came for the second round? Maybe that you won't vote.
We were here from the very voter registration process. We were here. We went back to get ourselves prepared, and then we came back. And since then, we've been here in the trenches. And one of the reasons why we thought on taking this particular or carrying on this sacrifice, like the other colleagues have said, this is the very first time in the history of Liberia that we have a president who have transcended just beyond a political agenda, looking at an agenda where every Liberian, void of your political attachment, that you can have, the right to participate. So those of us that have come back, be it from whatever political party, we have come to show our gratitude to this president and also to Liberia for giving us this opportunity. This has never happened, for a very long time. So for the fact that we have this opportunity where we as Liberians that have lived, in the diaspora for a very long time, has been given this opportunity by law, we think that is very important. And this is just our own way of appreciating this president. And when you look at it, this has been the highest number of diasporan Liberians that have ever turned up to participate in any electoral process. The records are there under the leadership of His Excellency President Dr. George Manneh Weah. You have so many Liberians, from different political spectrum that today are participating in this election. So it speaks volume of who this president is. So we've just come to buttress the president's effort and to also demystify the myth that have been out there. Because remember, my sister Titi, before the first round of election, there were all kinds of words that were going around. In fact, at a certain point in time, the opposition had this particular, a myth out there that Liberians stock up your homes with food. There's going to be war. There's going to be this. There's going to be that. Even when some of us were coming, there were family members who called us and said, "You can't come to Liberia with my people because the thing that we hear you, we got to buy rest. There will be shortage. People will not be in the country. People running away." So our presence here is to tell the international community, to also tell our brothers and sisters that Liberia, under His Excellency President Dr. George Manneh Weah, is not only safe, but it's open and it's ready to receive every Liberian that want to participate in the electoral process without any prejudice from anybody. So we are excited, and we are just like the billboard to tell others that Liberia is open, is secure, and politically you can exercise a franchise with any without any fear or favor.
I like that. And I want to stick with that a little bit. You say that, we have come to show gratitude to His Excellency the President. But I want to get in, I know people who are listening want to know exactly how it felt when you didn't have an opportunity to exercise your franchise because you had an American citizenship or a citizenship from another country, and you are a Liberian born citizen, but because you took citizenship from another country, you want to come back home. Elections are coming, but you can come because if you came, you wouldn't have an opportunity. How did it feel like?
It's like a total relief to see yourself coming back home. On many cases, Titi, whenever the president visited the United States of America to attend the UNGA, and we assemble ourselves to welcome him into the United States of America. On one of these occasions, I remember when our secretary, the UNGA, we told the president of the Republic of Liberia, His Excellency Dr. George Bano Weah, I personally told him, I said, Mr. President, if you were to please perform to the expectation of the Liberian people, your second term presidential bid will be binding and obligatory. You were predicated upon that. You know what it means to live in the outside world. If you are to prepare yourself to leave your home outside to come back, to come in Africa or to come back in Liberia, you have to pay 2 times of every bills that you have. All right, like Prince said, we came down 3 months back to do voter registration. So you do voter registration when you have the time to come back? We told them yes. In a relatively 2 months period, when we could not even adjust ourselves to pay our bills that we accumulated in our absence. We prepare ourselves the next day, the next 1, 2, 3 months, we got on the flight again coming back. All right, now where I live in Minnesota is becoming to start snowing. If I'm now home, my apartment could tow my car. But we still let that be. The fact that this president is doing this for us, we have to go down and participate in the process. Guess what? Yesterday when we were back home, we were back in the United States to call on a talk show. And during electionary period, they be like, "Oh, you in America eating hamburger. You don't know what we're going through here." My own little cousin told me that. You don't know what we're going through here on Facebook. If you think that Joshua is doing well, pay your ticket and come. I'm like, what? That's a little challenge for me. Yeah. And also, I told my colleagues and all of that, we prepare ourselves. We'll go there. We always sleep under the mosquito net. Like we haven't reached home. We just from Margibi, specifically around District 1. Is it District 1 to Smell Notice? We just from, we involved with this voter education. Yeah, voter education and community awareness. We're talking to people one-on-one. And to avoid what we have, invalid vote. We're talking to people one-on-one. We tell them, guess what? If we tell them that we are from the diaspora, it can be. Yep. They say it can be. You live from the diaspora, you live from America, Canada, you can't be campaigning here. Can't be campaigning here. Yeah, so because of the hard work this president has done, we think we should come and join him and all of us work together to make sure that he's re-elected. Makes a lot of sense. Sure.
Let's hear your thoughts on, how you felt before, you had an opportunity to come and vote because of the passage of the Dual Citizen Bill.
Well, to the I was feeling isolated. I was feeling detached from my motherland. And that alone will give you a feeling that you don't feel that you should be part of the country that you were born in. Yep. And you observing from afar an electoral process that you could have been involved with. You felt isolated, detached, and lonely. But I think the president was looking beyond that. And for him to do that, I believe it was for the greater good. And what we are doing, we believe that UP is also doing the same thing. Members of UP doing the same thing. They are here and involved with campaigning. So it's a good thing. I mean, it gives us a different feeling that indeed the country was thinking about us. There was a leader thinking about the diasporans, and for us to come back and exercise that franchise, I think is a good thing. And we are more pleased that and more grateful to this president that he did this for us. And to show that gratitude is to come back and campaign in the trenches. And like he said, we just came back from Agibi, and to ensure that what happened in the first round doesn't happen again with the high number of invalid votes.
Do you speak Liberian English? How do you campaign?
I'm not speaking
Before Prince comes in, how do you campaign?
Let me tell you, we went there. We got a ballot, right?
Mm-hmm.
For some of us, the number 2 thing, I don't believe in that number 2. That's what I believe in.
Okay.
A man
and a woman. Okay.
And the box right near the woman.
Mm-hmm.
That the one
that is right there.
Mm-hmm. Because when you look at it, they could say, "Oh, but man, hunter, woman,
the horizontal."
Yes, but the horizontal part is the right one.
Exactly.
The man, the woman, and the box right near the woman. So we also allow them to demonstrate it. We gave them a pen, and they demonstrated it. Randomly, we just selected them. And you will realize that they still made mistakes.
Really?
Yeah. So we had to correct them. So that's the kind of intensive education we've been carrying on. And I think it's resonating because when you ask them, they said number 2, I said no, for someone around number 2. The perfect couple, we call it. Mm-hmm. The man and the woman, and now the man and the man.
Oh, that's a good one. That's a good one. Okay, so let's hear you, Prince.
Yeah, my sister Titi. The most unfortunate thing that can happen to any individual is to be denied of your right to participate in any electoral process only because of whatever abnormal circumstances that you left your home. Remember, those of us that left this country, we did not leave because we were excited. Some of us left because of the war that, was imposed on us by the likes of Prince Johnson, Joseph Numa Boyka, and Bob Neke. Some of us were forced to leave this country. We didn't leave this country eating hamburger, our pusawa rice. Some of us, in fact, we were swallowed when we left this country here.
Yep.
And people sorry for us. So we ran away from a situation that was imposed on us by the likes of Prince Johnson, Bob Neke, and the rest of the other guys. And by the grace of God, we found ourselves in our country. And we have been working very hard, earnestly, to see how best we can contribute towards Liberia. And one so morning we saw a clause, or we saw something in our constitution that denied us the opportunity to participate in our electoral process only because in search of greener pasture, we thought that let's take the people's citizenship so at least we can be able to provide for ourselves and for our family that are here. Then one so morning somebody will go look at papers, somebody say, my man, you can participate in the process because as far as you're concerned, you're not like you're different people. And this was a real shock to every one of us. This is something that for centuries, I can say this, that Liberians that are in the diaspora has been denied of. So for the fact that President Weah came and knowing his history, where he came from, and in search of greener pasture, he went all abroad. So he fits himself in the situation that we were in. And for the fact that he gave us that opportunity to say, look, my people, our brother then left from here to go look for opportunity. And they get the opportunity through the people, different paper. We must soon deny them. That was the greatest moment ever in our lives. That was the greatest moment. And that's the reason why some of us, we don't even care. Look, I can say this. I can lose my job in the United States of America. I will come here and go to my brother Daniel and sit on a boat.
Of course.
And he will accommodate me. The most important thing is for us to show our gratitude. And that's the reason why we have forgotten about everything. Yeah, we have forgotten about everything to come and to also tell the world that we have a president who is not only thinking about himself and his family. Remember when this dual citizenship bill came up, there were all kind of political sour politicians that wanted to politicize it. The president wanted to do it for his son, and he wanted to do it for this. So my people were telling me that me, Prince Sherita from Grand Cape County and Lofa, I'm looking at President Weah's son. But today, let me hear to come and exercise my democratic franchise. And that's the reason why we are calling on all Liberians. Look, President Weah is thinking beyond just what we are seeing. He is I believe that we are getting to the period where, like in other advanced countries, that one of these days I can be in the United States and I will equally participate, equally like we are seeing now in the electoral process here. So President William has opened that gate that we will not be denied. And that's the reason why we have come, and we'll go in the butchers, in the trenches, and we'll talk to our people in the simple Liberian English. Look, we'll speak Mende, we'll speak Va, we'll speak Kran, we'll speak Gola, to tell our people that this president is a man that do what he say.
Talk and do.
Okay, so you're from Kidmount County, where the Unity Party won the CDC a little over 200 votes.
Yeah.
Have you been back home, and what do you think is going to change this time around?
Thank you very much, my sister Titi. Let me put it this way. Look, when we saw the vote from Grand Kidmount County, my sister, we were not happy. And the reason for which we weren't happy is because of the level of development that Grand Kidmount County has received from this particular government. Imagine today, as we are speaking here, go to Grand Kidmount County, 24-hour current. 24-hour current. Look at the road. Today, there are a lot of developments that we as Cape Martinians have received from this government. But let me tell you something, Titi. Let me be very fair with you. Look, we know what happened in Grand Kidmount County. And we will say this right here. We understand that the magistrate down there, they tamper with some things. And this is the reason why our eyes are open this time around. And Liberians must understand. We know that there were deliberate that went on down there. Wow. There were too much deliberate. We have the records. We have all of the evidence here. And we are ready to display it. But our eyes are open. And this is the reason why when we came on ground, we decided that, look, we're not enjoying the comfort of Boulevard Hotel. No way. We went straight to Grand Kidmount County. We went to Jenewine. We went to Diastan. We went in the villages and in the towns, places that people had to use canoe to cross to reach there. These were the places that we went. And it was surprising to know, my sister Titi, with no disrespect, I know the team in Grand Kidmount County has been doing exceptionally well. But our people in the Leeward County, look, the people are sincere. When the people tell you, say they are for you, mama, go all kind of, don't even get them water to drink. They are for you. When they tell you, say they're not for you, like a break cow, they will eat it. They will tell you, say they're not for you. So as we interact with the people were very fair enough to tell us that, oh, my people, one of the reasons for which you see we had this kind of vote here, it was because some of us was not adequately educated. Like what we are doing now, from door to door, from house to house, from buffer to buffer. Some people say we just go there, we see plenty of people on the paper, we are said to we get mad. Some people say, oh, and nobody can here to us. The only thing that people can do, they can come in a big town, for example, in Rabosport, then they call all from the villages for us to go there. And some of us got to pay 2,000 before we can reach to Rabosport. So it wasn't possible. And that's the reason why I want to thank the CDC, the government, and including the president, because the president is also involved in this door to do something. That it is not, all about the cry is good, but this time around, we are reaching to our people, and we did that. And from what we are seeing from Grand Kidmount County, my sister Titi, I can tell you, if the CDC does not win overwhelmingly Grand Kidmount County, my sister, I will come right in the studio here, and I want for the government to denounce my citizenship as a Liberian. Just me, I'm telling you, because our people are deployed and we are reaching to our people. We are speaking the Mende, we are speaking the Va, we are speaking every other language you can think about. And I'm telling you, for what we are getting for our people, and this time around, Nambo Desia, Mwabendo, thank you.
So, I like that. But again, as we urge towards the elections, we've got 3 more days to Tuesday the elections, and we keep hearing these kinds of scare tactics, war drums from these from the opposition people. Yesterday, Bade and Tuwe, where they had a press conference. The day before yesterday, one of their men, they brought a Ghanaian IT specialist who was caught in Grand Jide County. And we had Jonathan Segwe, who is a senator, and another senator who was flogged, coming to visit. The ranks at the police station tried to get the man out, but thank God the police were able to contain him, and he's in Maryland County for trial. Today we're hearing that in Nimba County. There was gunfire. Senator Johnson and Senator Cohn were around there. The son of Thomas Akuangba is alleging that he was, beaten by them. And Senator Johnson is saying somebody was killed. With all of these things, that which happened in Lofa County, it happened in the first round. But even in the second round, we still hear the Unity Party folks beating war drums and, putting fear in people. Do you think this door-to-door thing that CDC is doing, the campaign and all of the efforts you're putting into this, what do you think is going to happen?
Well, let me come in, Cyrus. After hearing all of this, it's unfortunate, Titi, because 15, 20 years ago, we were running. We're in refugee camps, but to have a democracy where we can exercise and cast a ballot in a country consistently. This is the third presidential elections. We've had a few midterms. I think every Liberian, including Prince Johnson and others, should take pride in it. We shouldn't think about our selfish gains. We should think about the greater good of this society, a democracy that we are building for future generations. Other countries, other African countries are beginning to model, our democratic system. And I think it will begin to thread the path. It would not be a good thing, because Liberia has taken pride in her democratic credentials. And I think it's a good thing. We feel proud about it. But on the other hand, I believe the reason the opposition is doing this is the extreme desperation, a desperation for power. And I think we should begin to disabuse our minds that indeed to ascend to the presidency is through the ballot box, free of intimidation, free of fear, free of any kind of scare tactics. We should know that we have a very young democracy that we all should continue to support for it to be entrenched in our party politics. So it's unfortunate, but it shows the desperation, the lies, the innuendos, and scare tactics that they think will scare our people away. But I tell you what, we share some of the things, some of the good things that this president has done, including what came up just 2 days ago about the MCC scorecard. And when we share with some of them, they say, oh, wow, if this is happening, then it means the country is on the right path. Mm-hmm. So I think that is happening because of the achievement, the good things that are happening in this country. And they think they can muddy it, they can dilute it with all of the different scare tactics. But the citizens, the voters are resolved. They are resolved to come out en masse on Tuesday to vote this president in. And based on the education, the reaction, because we're having what we call a small group community engagement, not a big group. And I think it's very effective because they too become the messengers going to their neighbors, people in the next door, to tell them about the way to vote. And I think it's very effective. So, what is unfolding in recent days is unfortunate, but I think this democracy is strong and will become stronger as we go along in years to come.
Do you think the old lady, way there in, what town should I call? The old people.
In Bologna.
Yeah, okay. The old the old man in where this thing happened today. It's called Azule or what? Some
in Nimba.
Yeah, in Nimba. the old people in those villages, do you think they're going to be excited to come out to cast their votes? Haven't, heard, maybe some of them were on their farms and they heard that, the people fire, gone yell, Prince Johnson will yell, carry our people, somebody died. Do you think those people will still muster the courage to come out to cast their ballot?
Thank you so much, Didi. That's one reason why we continue to talk to our people from door to door. That's a scare tactics. The tactics the guys are using in my mind is to create this terrain where they will make our voters to reduce. People be afraid to go stand in the queue to cast the ballot. But those are long-time scare tactics that we understand because I come from the student background. I remember when we were at the University of Liberia those days, when we paid 25 Liberian per credit. To even get 25 Liberian was difficult. And when we were actively involved in student politics, we go to elections while the election commissioners are counting the ballot people. We grab one of our candidates, put it in the air, and start dancing. So the man while ballots are being counted in there. So all the Congress for the other side will be the Tamara. I think so. Alright, if you don't really want to see here, sometimes just from internal political convention would pay those tactics. So the guys from the other side, like the leg of Mo Ali and the leg of company, know that we are here, we understand the scare tactics, and we are going to counter them. This part, we are the constituent of peace. And as a ruling political party, we are the constituent of the peace. We are not going to sit there and allow the guys to put fear in us and intimidate us. All right? So why the guys are creating fear in our people? Our persons from the diaspora, encourage them and then lift up their fortitude to move forward. Yeah. All right, because I don't sleep in no big hotel. Any of us will sleep with our family. When current going, we all get affected for it. So it encourages our people to keep on their knees, and we keep talking to them. Don't matter, guys, they are doing it to put fear in us to not go out to vote. Prince Johnson Oka and they big talk. All right. Somebody told me that those days, the strength that Prince Johnson bought they have lost that strength. And they can't walk the distance no more. He can't play that guerrilla warfare tactics no more. If I Zeke, I'm told that the guys are being around on different. The Zeke they had that is a challenge bullet. All the Zeke gone. Until they begin as a man against Zeke again. So the young people that coming up, they have the strength. They can move. And so they can better be work on the people. So they just creating that fear because they know that we can't go to this battle and they emerge victorious. So as such, they want to create a hostile terrain. But the international community is as well watching them. And they're watching all of us here and attempt to do anything. All right, we want to make sure that the guys will be in schedule.
Okay, let's hear you. Prince, I want to still be convinced that the people you talk to in Grand Cape Mount County, hearing what's happening, because the Unity Party is full of tactics. They are very, very good on scaring people. All they do is get out there, just make some loud noise and say this is happening, or we're going to do this, we're going to do that. And sometimes not everyone is going to, not pay attention to that. Sure. Especially our people in the villages. Nobody, only God knows what they are doing there. If you leave from there and you come back to town, they go behind you and do something else.
My sister Titi, I agree with what you just said. But let me tell you this, Mama, and I want to put it in this simple English. Our people are resolved. They're ready. Let us look at the preceding incident before the election. We saw people using this kind of scare tactics where they tell you, say, they're laying down now. People go to how you call funeral home and go take day body from there that were there for almost 7 months. They buy the day body because nobody ain't go there for it. They carry it to rail way in the net. They cut the day body hand. They put it on the other side. They cut it here. They put it on the other side. Say, you're saying that in the country here, not easy, President. We are killing people. Somebody say, President, we are in fight. He tell somebody 3 KD. He passing around with it. So before the election, there were all kinds of scare tactics by the opposition. Remember what they did? They brought arms and ammunition in this country.
Yep.
We saw that at the Freeport. There were all kinds of funny things. In fact, at a certain point in time, these guys were even using criminals and robbers all around the place. But one thing we must thank this government for, in the absence of 15,000 strong men, that this government is able to keep the peace.
Yep.
So with all of these things, with all of these scare tactics, this gone election, you saw the turnout. With all of what happened around here, in fact, there was an incident where somebody said, in fact, they get new group, they group here, so you get in the test, then they will get you injection, then they tell you, they carry you on the other side. With all of these things, but my sister Titi, you are a living witness. You saw the turnout. So yes, there are challenges psychologically, as you said. There are people, to some extent, who are going to have this particular misfeeling. Look, one thing I can say, my sister Titi, we not suffer with war this day too much in the country. You can make old lady scared with breathing Bucky. You can't do that thing because the thing is forever, for a very long time. The same people, the likes of Prince Johnson, the likes of Joseph Newman Boyka, who supported the Lofa defense foe, born naked there all around here. These are the people that brought this kind of criminal and atrocity on us. So this time around, to come and fear us and think that we'll not go to the pools, I can tell you that even the people there in Jenewene, the people there in Dianstan, the people there in Papa, they are saying that nothing will happen. And we saw that during the first round of the election.
Yep.
What we did not hear? People buy your wrestle, put it inside. In fact, don't even count us out and all this. But with all of what they said, and with even the evil that were perpetrated against our people, the war drums, and in fact, they actualized their behavior. We saw what happened in Foya. If the people of Foya, despite their son Tamba was killed in a broad daylight, if they can turn up overwhelmingly to say to Joseph Newman Boyka, even though you care Tamba, but we tell you, say, Foya, enough for you. And they overwhelmingly voted this particular government. This is just to tell you that their scare tactics, it has no seat under this particular government. President Weah is in charge of security, and we are 100% sure that our people will not listen to that thing. That thing they're doing, that their own thing. Our people will go to the polls and they will vote His Excellency President Dr. George Manneh Weah. And that's why we are in this continuous process of talking to our people. In fact, tonight, after tonight, watch my life. I am going Bonny Hills. Tonight, I'm going Bonny Hills. I will be in Bonny Hills. And I will be in towns and villages that people cannot enter. Look, I'm a man. We are men that come here and we are willing. We go to areas that other ordinary people can't go. We are not poors. We can go to the places that other people will not go.
Who are
To assure our people, not poors,
Scare people.
we scare people. They don't understand the society,
teaching you talk.
So the poors are,
I will not have that.
And to just underscore, add to what Prince has said. First of all, we want to commend the campaign team from the diaspora. Charles Kruji and others. We've been working very hard, going from district to district, city to city. Just about a week ago, they were in bone mines. So that tells you how much we've been stretching ourselves to ensure that we educate our people about how to vote, because it's important. We want to reduce that the high number, because I think most of it came from outside. So we've been working very hard, and I think what we've seen, up to time, is that they are willing to go out. The people are willing to go out and vote. They're not listening to what is going on. And, like he said, you saw the turnout. It can prove to you that the people are not even listening to the war drum, the scare tactics.
Usually,
it didn't work.
It didn't work.
Usually, second rounds, the voters can be very, tired.
Voting fatigue.
Yeah, they don't want to get out. And if you hear people, trying to destabilize the peace that we have, some people get scared.
Sure.
I understand you say, people will get out, the people will get out.
Sure.
And if people also know that others are beating war drums and they too belong, they will go to vote, because if you vote, these people don't have a space in the society,
Exactly.
which is understandable.
Exactly.
So Let me hear from you guys. We know the first round of the elections, President Weah won the elections. Now we have two candidates in the race. So what's your projection? What do you think?
Well, I can tell you that, without mincing my words, that the president gonna win this election. We've seen it, and if you look at the trend, the way things are trending, most of the endorsements, sometimes people say endorsements when I mean a thing, but every person who has endorsed this president, every party who has endorsed this president has its own following. And that following is also important because they bring some votes, and every vote will be important in the second round. So I think it's also psychological, because if you look at comparatively between the CDC and the UP, we've moved a lot of endorsements. So that is important, because
Crucial also.
it's very, very crucial, very critical. So I think if you look at that, I believe that, and we do our homework with what we are doing intensively, going and engaging in small group in the community and moving door to door is effective. So we're going to win this election. The president going to win.
You're doing
Undoubtedly.
that around the country? Or
Yes.
you're just doing
We spread ourselves out. We spread ourselves out, because I'm from Maryland originally, and I've been talking to my people in Kampala, and indeed they've been responding positively. That's why you saw the outcome in the first round.
Yep.
You know, that's how it became the firewall. It was our firewall.
The Unity Party is there with how do you call him?
Some Ghanaian hackers and all that kind of stuff. like that.
Hikers in the southeast to hike the results that will be coming from there
It's
before it gets
unfortunate.
to the national.
Very unfortunate.
convention.
It's unfortunate that we're going to that to that length just to win elections. And you know, they might think that the Elections Commission and the security apparatus have not been working, but they're very surprised that this guy was apprehended.
Yep.
You know, everything has been put in place with the help of the international community. Those who have put money into these elections, they're not going to sit by and allow people to come and manipulate it. So it was not surprising that this guy was caught. You know.
John, any of you want to come in?
Yeah. You for me, my prediction is going to win this election landslide. If that's tsunamis, the victory is clear. Guess what? We from the diaspora, especially my office, my deputy, myself, our office, we introduced this tactics called voter repatriation.
What is that?
The voter repatriation is, say for example, or candidates yesterday that participated in the election, representative or senatorial candidates, they took voters from one county to another, from one district to another. All right, and some of them lost the election. They lack the ability now to take the people to where it took them to vote for their interests. All right, so the strategy we have used now is to identify some of those areas where people truck people from district 1 to district 2. And you know how we've been going by doing that is meeting with defeated candidates, and they've been telling, we told people XYZ amount of, and the good thing about those guys had the whole law.
They sure they're gonna vote for you.
They had the whole law, and we've been talking to them.
That's another good question.
You know, we've been talking to them, giving them reason why they should vote for us, and and it's resonating very well. And it's resonating very well. So you take guess what? So we identify those areas. Like this morning, we're like, my gentlemen, let's do stuff.
I'm gonna be carrying anyway in the
I don't know, sure people. And also be able to, recognize the various terrain and see what we can do between now and Tuesday. And and we'll take them there.
The way you're coming from America already, many will say, okay, they will carry us. But before you come in, Prince, and let me just ask, maybe you can respond to this. I hear you talk about, the endorsements. Sure. His Excellency is getting right. I like to bring this because I heard Amos Tue yesterday. He said that we're going to win these elections. And the reason why I say we're going to win these elections is because look at the endorsements we've got. We're endorsed by ALCOP, we're endorsed by Appeton. Appeton got this amount of votes. ALCOP got this amount of votes. Tiawong Gonglo got this amount of vote. If you put all of these votes together, we've won the elections. So in my mind, I said, then why do you even go to the elections now? You should just be announced. But look at the mindset that they were endorsed by Appeton. So the numbers, all of the numbers that Appeton got, they're going to get those numbers. They were endorsed by ALCOP, even though the Standard Bearer went to them and the rest of the people went to the CDC. They still say the votes from ALCOP will go to them. Tiawong Gonglo's party endorsed them, but the person who even showcased Tiawong Gonglo is supporting His Excellency and rallying people in Nimba County to vote for His Excellency. You see the mindset? What do you think? They said they've won the elections because of all of the endorsements.
My sister Titi, let me say this. You know, sometimes I really like the way our brothers from the other end, speak to issue. And they see people then will say they had result, they finish winning, they were in blue plastic there. They will produce that particular result that made them to win. Up to now, we still waiting for them, waiting for that blue plastic. That particular result, they will produce it. Because they told us from the beginning that they finished winning. So up to now, we're still waiting. We have not seen that yet. So this is just to tell the Liberian people, these guys are joker. And as Mr. Wilson said, when you look at the endorsement, my sister Titi, look, the biggest endorsement that this government have of recent, that the people here were in my hand. The people here were in my hand. You know, our brothers on the other side, they have paraded with this particular narrative that the government of President George Manneh Weah has failed. They say, oh, y'all leave President Weah. In fact, the American people will not even work with him. Y'all leave them, the government. In fact, the government, all the people they were in the diaspora that's supposed to help us, they say the government not correct. So therefore, they want nothing to do with the government. My sister Titi, the people then will say, the international people now know President Weah not working, he not doing this, he not doing that. Let them look at this result. Let them look at this result. This is to tell you, this scorecard, this is to tell you that, look, the people, they can't come with anything called facts. They always come with lies. And that's the reason why we continue to engage our people. Because you see, my sister Titi, if the people continue to hear one person lying to them over and over, sometimes it can turn to true. If you lie to somebody too much, then nobody go there to counteract, or nobody go there to say, oh, they think that lie and provide the truth. Sometimes it can be true. And that's the reason why all of us are doing a great work. One of the things that they have said is that Liberia is unsafe. The international people will get all the sophistication to tell what a country is safe or not safe, and that they record here in my hands. So the people say that they lying. Liberia is safe. They have said to us that there is no economic freedom. There is no, people are not ruling justly, and etc. etc. Do they look at the people? What do the people say against what they are saying? They are saying one thing, and the records, numbers don't lie. That's what the people can say, the mathematician. So the people there who get all of the sophistication, they have said to the world, and that's the reason why we are going to support President Weah, and his second term will be a blessing for Liberia. Because based on this record, look, my people, y'all get ready. Investment does not only start from where men coming with big fire in your hand. It starts from us, we Liberians. And that's the reason why, based on this record, we are saying that President Weah will be overwhelmingly re-elected by his people. Imagine, my sister, out of 20, you're on the field, y'all get 20%. The men come first. You are able to beat all of you. Then they say 2% must stay in the race. Then he say he will win. My sister Titi, we're talking about endorsement. We're talking about the program, the inaugural program. That's why we're discussing right now. Election as far as we're concerned, it finished already. It finished.
Okay, so you want to do something, Tanya? Because you got to go to the lines now.
Yeah, I just want to, before we open the call lines, let me just quickly commend my colleagues, especially the brothers from the diaspora. I remember we had a lot of stuff going on together when I was at the Ministry of Information. When this referendum started, Emmanuel Weti
Yeah, Weti, yeah.
He was one of the persons who were pushing for the dual citizenship because it was a recommendation that came off the table of Liberians and diaspora. And one of the things that they helped the president to do, which of course the president introduced, was to have a regular sit down with the diaspora Liberians. Because the president's strategic conviction had been, in order to build citizens' wealth in the country, the people must be directly participatory in these activities. And if you look at our national economy in terms of revenue, the Liberian diaspora alone brings over $200 million. If you cut across, whether that construction, whether sending money for family feeding, over $200 million in our economy. So if they are not significant to decision making, then it means that that president is blind. That was why he prioritized our people. And you guys also, Prince, I've seen you in the trenches in Mimba, Mr. Wilson, Sambola, we're all friends on Facebook, I believe, and we've been doing this advocacy for a very long time.
Sure.
I just want to say thank you. Thank you for us being together to inform our people and convince our people that all of the chicaneries that are being spewed in the public space are just meant to keep them from doing the needful. And the needful is to re-elect the president. I said to somebody, 12 years ago, they had all of the Harvard, Cambridge, Luxembourg, Notre Dame University graduates in this country. But they could not even pass 11 on a 10 on the scorecard.
Sure.
They couldn't pass that.
Sure.
But a man who came from Gibraltar, from Sargon, the man became president in this country. And this man was able to pass 12 first and then 14 second. Imagine if President Weah is re-elected. We will do 18. You know why? Because the president listens beyond the ordinary.
Sure.
What the international community want to see is what he's done.
Sure.
When they criticize an organization, he listened to the IMF that you need to resize this wage bill in order for us to help you. And that was managed, and they brought a whole different debate around that. So I just want to say thank you, brothers. Let's continue to do all that we do. The government, for the first time in the history of our country, is truly recognized and identified by the definition of democracy for the people, of the people, and by the people.
Before we go to the lines, something you struck, I just want to add to it. The scorecard. If you look at, according to research, if you look at other countries that are participating in it, we are sitting high. And I think what the president has done was to put together a brilliant economic team and put together all of the different financial policies and austerity measures to ensure that we meet those benchmarks. And I think the president continues to challenge himself.
Yeah, beyond that, ordinary.
Yeah, to challenge himself that no, it's not good. Let's go for 18.
Yeah.
No, it will not be good until we hit 20. And I can see it coming. I can see it coming, no doubt. And when we went 10, the president said, no, it was not good.
Yeah.
So we see the improvement, you see the trend. That tells you that this president wants to ensure
It's progressive.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, so let's go to the lines now. It's your time to participate. Call us on 0770 192696. I'm not sure I'm using the
telephone lines.
Yeah, I don't want to hurt my ears. Yeah. So call us we use the phone 0770 192696.
If the guy in diaspora Liberian, because Prince has value, he can use the WhatsApp number and he can call you on the show.
Yeah, unfortunately, my other phone is
down. Clark, where are you guys?
Hello?
Okay.
Hello?
You're live. 30 seconds. Tell us your name.
Thank you very much. My name is Moses. I call you from Ghana's.
Okay, Moses.
Yeah, I want to thank the team in studio. Please welcome to Liberia. This is Moses Kazali, a member of your team. I've been following you all through, while you were in the city. So welcome to Liberia.
Thank you, sir.
Brothers, you have just said it all. In fact, I have gotten an information that Lofa, the reason why Lofa got that number of votes for unit, that they have three right now. They have three members of unit party who are what as PO to manipulate the processes, in Lofa County. So I want to say thank you very much. Let's continue to motivate our people. Let's continue to help people as to how to vote. Thank you very much.
Thank you, caller. Thank you. Hello, caller.
Hello, sir.
Good evening to you. Let's hear from you, please.
Good evening. I have listened very religiously. My name is Jala McKay. I have listened to your exposition very religiously. And I'd like to congratulate you and the power of your analysis, especially the gentleman who spoke from Cape Mount. And is talking about going to Bomi tomorrow, and hopefully I wish you could reach to Papolo and look at the road network that should be contributing to the economic survival of the people of those areas. I would like to know from you, hello?
Yes, you're live, please. Go ahead.
Many years ago, the people from the diaspora brought war on us in this country. In the 80s, destroyed this country, and now you have come back. How can you look at the lack of road to Papulu, the country that once established this country, and look at Cape Town, where you've been praising so highly? I'm looking at the socio-economic development of the region. Monrovia is not Liberia. Liberia is not Monrovia. So how can you look at these county capitals simply because trouble build road to go to that region?
Let's go straight to the point now. You
got 30 seconds now.
My point is, what do you think? How do you think the people in Liberia will be influenced by somebody coming from America and trying to use propaganda to
they'll respond to your question.
They respond to you, sir. Thank you very much, yeah? Good evening, caller. Hello.
Yes, sir.
Good evening to you. Let's hear from you this evening, sir. Good evening.
Yes, first of all, I want to congratulate you guys for I'm very excited as I listen to the show.
Okay.
Giving the result from the scorecard on the INF. Other anti-sedition telling us that in fact the result they not do this, that, and whereas we told the people that when they not receive that result never even came from any African country but directly from the diaspora. So that's why the studio just said that previously we wanted making preparation for our inauguration this come January 2024. So I congratulate the studio girl for the elaboration.
Thank you.
Thank you, my dear brother. Good evening, caller.
Good evening, CCT.
Good evening. Let's hear from you, please.
Good evening. How are you?
Yes, let's hear from you quickly.
And let me say good evening to all of the panelists in studio this evening. This is the voice of Eric Sargento behind the whole sedition, and this evening I joined the conversation from District 3 Mosorayo County.
Okay, Eric. Make your
Thank you so
point.
much for the conversation. But let me say this, CCT. In any serious contestation requires a very hard work development. Any serious contestation. And that is to say, in this session, where we are going with our campaign, like I listened to the speaker when he said Operation Noah's Ark, and in our own district we have the Operation Utopia. President Weah is going to win the election because we are taking the election door to door, from house to house. Right now, we got 13 counties, 10 counties on our people, and we're very sure that President Weah is going to win. But let's look at it. For example, in Ifuera, the CDC wants 6 senatorial seats, 25 representative seats. These are clear indications that President Weah is going to win the state round.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Okay, Eric. Thank you very much. Good evening, caller. Good evening.
Good evening, sir.
Yes, let's hear from you, please.
Yeah, foreign Matthew calling from Apoka now, Samukata.
Make your point.
The studio guest in the studio there. I want to tell President Weah thank you and Minister Torres and the economic management team that was set up by President William Nshedeva. Mr. Tuan did very well for the MTD school card. The whole world knows that Nigerians now is doing well in terms of economy, employment, corruption, and so forth. And for this election, we know that President William is winning big. We should be deterred. We are seeing Amara Kone put it down, Excel spreadsheet. We patch up.
Everything but they're falling short when you were with Minister of Finance. Thank you. Yeah.
Caller, good evening. Good evening.
Yeah. McCarthy, the team are doing you from the Supreme Bill.
Let's hear from you, sir.
Yeah. You know, the reason is sometimes we are ready for slow stories to say this. If you say that the George Manuel we are doing well in the country, you will not be sending people on the street, buying people at the car, your developers will be speaking for you. Now be sending people at the car passing around using different terms or anything so that people they are being loyal to the country.
Okay, thank you very much. You've made your points. Caller, good evening. Good evening.
Hello?
Yes, good evening, caller.
Hello?
Caller, good evening to you.
Good evening.
Let's hear from you, please.
Good evening, sir.
Yes, good evening. Let's hear from you.
Thank you for the show this evening. I'm Thomas Chadisumu calling from Ghana.
Okay, let's hear you again. Yes, you're live. Let's hear from you. You're live. Caller, good evening. Caller, good evening.
Good evening. This is Mark Duque. I'm calling from Bangladesh.
Let's hear from you, sir.
Hello.
Let's hear from you. You're live on ELBC. Let's make your point, please.
United Party, they are not joke. They are seeing it. They are seeing the truth, then it's denied the fact.
Thank you.
Thank you. Good evening to you, caller. Caller, good evening. Walk away from that monitor, please. You got somebody? Good evening.
Good evening.
Yes, sir. Let's hear from you.
Thank you very much. This is Timon right from RBF community.
Okay.
So I love that premise. In the past, people came from the diaspora and damaged the country. But today, people are from the diaspora, they are in the studio, they sporting democratically. Instead of buying weapons, they pay their way to come and talk on the radio. Thank you for that. That's just what prompted me to make this call.
Thank you, dear brother. You made a good point. Thank you so much. Caller, good evening. Caller, good evening.
Yeah, hello, how are you?
Yeah, put some life in yourself. We're fine. Let's hear from you, please.
Yeah, my name is Peter Timo. I call from Bon County.
Good evening. Let's hear from you.
Yeah, thank you very much for the declaration. The one thing is scaring me. All the threat of Prince Johnson is not scary. But the Ghanaian that were brought in the country to hack the system, that is worrisome.
Okay.
It shows that the first resort that we got, or towards them, were not first on the part of the Unity Party. So the election commission got to be on the alert.
I'm sure they are on the alert, sir.
They're on the alert, and the government has been making some investigative strides, so everything is okay.
Should continue to be on the alert for the kind of people. We don't know how many of these guys are being deployed in all of our countries.
You're right.
Thank you.
Okay, brother. Thank you very much. Caller, good evening.
Yeah, good.
Let's hear from you, please.
As a people, I do call the whole of factory. Thank you very much with you guys. With you. I think they're making our people to know, the important and making our people to know what President Weah is doing. They're looking at the up people like carrying fake information around. Yeah, they can say nothing with our party, but that's who the party around talking anything about President or pray to God. We'll go back our citizens to complete our 2 years to see that will complete all our projects that we have started.
Thank you.
Thank you, caller. Good evening.
Hello?
Yes, sir. Good evening to you. Let's hear from you.
Yeah, good evening. Okay, the scary tactics that UC is doing, I will not call my name for security reasons.
Okay. Sir, you live. Go on. Good evening. evening. Good evening, caller.
Hello?
Yes, sir. Good evening to you. Let's hear from you, please. What's going on with the people? Caller, good evening.
So security poke on him.
Yes, good evening.
Yes, sir. Good evening to you. Let's hear from you, please.
Yeah, my name is Martin Yazo, joining from County Junction to Borough.
Okay.
Yeah, join the conversation. I hear you do well, and I'm so happy to hear all necessary information from you people. We are coming up to vote our president for his second term, and nobody can stop us.
Thank you very much.
Condition number one, but Joria is my president forever and ever, always voting forever.
Thank you, dear brother. Caller, good evening. Good evening, caller.
Yeah, good evening.
Let's hear from you, sir.
Yeah, good evening.
Good evening to you. Let's hear from you. You're live.
Yeah, I'm Papa M. Johnson calling from Benigola.
Okay.
Hello?
Yes, sir. Go ahead. You're live. The word Labia is listening to you.
Yeah. I just want to say thank you for the clarity. To all. So we just telling George we have to wait until we retire and contribute for that on Tuesday.
Thank you very much, sir. You've made your point succinctly. Caller, good evening.
Yeah, good evening.
Good evening, brother. Let's hear from you.
Yeah, my name is Peter Green and I'm calling from Bone County.
Good. Let's hear from you, bro.
Yeah, I want to appreciate your studio guest so ever so much. You know, this government, first of all, is a bravo. We just waiting for January for our inauguration because tomorrow we're born who are never entered in our town by the grace of God from Banga to Belefana is a quota. The road from that place free, no bouncing again. Yo, we are really thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Amen. The bonga de pollo, no?
Caller, good evening. Okay.
They call the because from the southeast, just bouncing back.
Say to the both us. Caller, good evening. I hope that's how is there. Good evening.
Yeah. Hello.
Yes, sir. You're live on EOBC. Let's hear from you.
Jefferson, New York, calling from Little World Refugee Camp, Maryland.
Correct. Welcome to Southeast on the platform.
Thank you too. Thank you for your conversation tonight. Yeah.
Yeah, let's go ahead. Let's hear from you. What's your point?
This coming Thursday, we're going to vote our President John Manuel.
That Tuesday.
We're going to vote our President John Manuel. We are. If anybody beyond we are, they not know what to do. Come up, put in watch out. They not want to pay the money that President wants to do.
Thank you, my brother. I need that you talking. That's what we talking. Hello, caller.
Yeah, good evening. This is Dean Mazekamo and actually from Maryland County.
Marylanders are speaking now. Good evening to you. Let's hear from you, sir.
Oh, thank you, sir. Yes, and I will tell you that we decide indeed putting just money we are not taking story. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, brother. Caller, good evening. Caller, good evening.
Yeah, how you doing?
Fine, thank you, sir. Let's hear from you. You're live.
Okay, I'm speaking from Overgy County.
Okay, the Southeasterners have awakened. Make your point, sir. This line is bad.
I'm sorry, you're listening to yourself.
Yeah, good evening, caller.
So,
good evening.
Yeah, good evening.
Yes, sir. Let's hear from you. You're live on your BC.
Yeah, I'm Brother Prince Messia, calling from Police Academy.
Give your point, sir.
Well, I'm very thankful to God, but what I want for the government to do is to take serious action on some of those regular statements. You know, for government to just allow people to come in the public square and make statements without action, and for what happened in Nima and other parts of the country, there is a no.
Oh, caller, we missed our call, but that's a good point. Good evening, caller.
Hello.
Yes, sir. Good evening to you.
My name is Aaron B. So I'm calling from.
Let's hear from you. Make your point quickly.
Make your point quickly. You're live or you're busy?
Yeah, I am a little zero busy appointment.
Okay.
I'd like to get a video again. Thank you for your analysis. And some things by the grace of God from the world you read better. And about the little of all that, I just saw you for the yesterday in Lima. And we don't know we found who by the operator for cutting and my graduate for Monday and all of it.
The Bereso Studio reached out to you, yeah?
What didn't carry you in Nima?
Yeah, I was there doing the registration, so I registered in my girl info and she registered info. Yeah, I really want to go back.
A family thing. And I work for that, so, eh?
Yeah, I really want to go for now. People in my
So, let's go ahead, better.
Taking 2 more calls there.
And then we wrap it up. Caller, good evening.
Yeah, good evening.
Good evening, sir. Happy weekend to you. Let's hear from you.
Hello?
You're live on EOBC, sir. Make your points.
Yeah, good evening. I'm in Washington. How you guys doing?
We're good over here.
Okay, let me say hello to our diaspora brothers in the studio tonight.
We hear you, but you're making your points. You don't have to hear yourself. Good evening, caller. Good evening.
Hello.
Hello, man. Good evening to you.
I'm fine. This is Mr. Shears calling from America.
Okay, let's hear from you.
Originally from Grayson County, the Chinese.
Okay.
I'm calling to say how special you guys to say thank you. We all will not be passionate to go on a video. We all will not be in the front now, but we are doing our own.
Yep.
I'm a teacher by profession.
Okay.
We are talking to our people, especially look at the recent school. 14 out of 20 is still falling. And so I'm working. We are working. I'm only preparing to have this dress up for the inauguration come January 3rd. God will see to it that this man must win and so that he will go to the service and complete our role. He's not selfish. If you are selfish, you are there with our 2 years I can't go because of my age and because of the low position. I don't pay 300 to go and come on the flight. So we know when just we are winning. We see we win.
Okay,
so we win our role.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you very much. You're taking a call. Okay, man. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
So that concludes it for the callers.
Sorry,
Titi, go back to you.
we're not taking calls anymore. We appreciate that you want to make your points, but we're totally out of time. I know Kanye will soon, stretch his eyes on us. Just
evaluate, huh?
Yeah, but we can use 5 minutes of his time.
Yes.
So let me come back to you. You've listened to the callers. I know it was just one caller, and I know you can deal with that concern adequately. So let me come back to you. So when we start, we'll not come back again because we're out of time. So we gave each
So you make your point quickly.
1 minute 30 seconds, and then we move to the other person.
Yeah, thank you so much. If you were to listen to all of the callers, you got to understand that more than 90% of the callers are in support of our quest to re-elect the president of the Republic of Liberia. All right, but like a company call on the phone requesting to be repatriated to the area when. I would like to tell you we are around the party headquarters tomorrow.
You can drop his number to Titi.
You can drop your number to Titi, and we'll try to see how we can make up some arrangement.
Okay, that's very good.
Go back. And then interestingly, before I want to use this time because normally the last time I came from the station, I went OKFM. Many of my family and other friends, I don't have the time to reach to them because I'm here on a special mission.
Yes.
So I want to say I'm not disrespecting you. I respect you. I will find you, but after
when we celebrate,
yeah, when we say when getting the dividends,
exactly.
I will reach out to everybody.
It makes sense.
Well, thank you, Titi, and the rest of the team in studio. I want to close by saying that this scorecard is a big deal. We are not going to downplay it. We're going to sell it to our people, let the people know that indeed this president has been working from the time he took over this country, because he has the country at heart. That's why he has been working diligently to ensure that all the different benchmarks that the IMF and other donors have set, he can meet them. And like I said, I want to thank him for putting together a brilliant economic team led by the Minister of Finance, Samuel Twe. They've done a great job. But I think the president is not satisfied with what he has seen. As a result, he is asking the team to continue to work. And this tells you that it is evident by this scorecard that indeed the president, the country is moving in the right direction, social, economic, and political, and they intend to reduce poverty, because that's the whole goal. That's the whole idea about the MCC. And this tells us also that in the next term, we can anticipate that indeed Liberia can be 20 over 20. And I think that can happen. So I want to thank you. And we also want to commend our campaign team that have been working so hard. Our campaign is closing on Sunday, but I think we've done our best. And from all indications, the president is on the right path to win re-election. Prince?
Yeah, let me use this time to extend my thanks and appreciation in the Liberian way to say, thank you ever so much. I mean, all of the callers, and you, my sister Titi, and my own brother Daniel, and the team here for hosting us. Actually, when we entered here, there was a tour, and I was surprised.
Impressed, right?
Yeah, I was surprised and very, very impressed. I thought I was in one of CNN's studio. Looking at the level, I'm telling you this, looking at the level of development I've seen here, I want to say thanks to the team. You guys are doing exceptionally well. I listened to one of the caller who talked about diasporans were the one, back in the 80s that brought, the problem here. Let me say this. To some extent, I can agree with my brother that there was some diasporan Liberian, like for example, the likes of Prince Johnson. You all know where he was. The likes of Joseph Newman Boyka and etc. These people use their leverage that they had at the time in the diaspora to bring problem in Liberia. But we that here, the new generation, under His Excellency President Dr. George Manneh Weah, we are trying to change that narrative. That we will use our influence that we have, we will use whatever connection that we have in the diaspora to bring businesses here, to bring job here. Even for us to open Wheeler Market, we'll do it. But no longer will we be in the United States, will we be in England, will we be in Canada, and allow few group of Liberians to think that they can use that particular space to cause chaos in Liberia. But people, it will not work. For that one, I always telling people, I say, if it calls for us to make noise beyond these few Liberians, the international people or the Western people, they will pour in plane, and when you see the plane coming, it get rocking, that we don't want inside. But we'll not be in America, we'll not be in England, we'll not be in Canada, and allow few group of Liberians to think that they can destabilize their country. It will not work. Again, as we head to the pools, you know the code that a man and a woman, the backs were in front of him, that they play, or the backs were in front of her, that the play is supposed to pull your tongue or you're supposed to cross. We again want to extend our thanks and appreciation to the team from the diaspora, and we hope to see May in China before we can leave from here. Thank you all, and God bless the team here at LPS.
Thank you, Prince. Thank you to Claire, and also thank you to Samuel. Before Titi close the program, let me help the colleague who called and talked about the slow development, no economic development. It's unfortunate that people are disorganized in terms of historical notes. There's never a time in world history where a country develops under 6 years. But you have medium, long, and short-term developmental agenda that are set as sail. After World War II, China closed our country for 35 years. I hope he's listening. In 25 years, that country's economy was closed, and China internally built her economy. When it was opened, today the world runs to China. Similarly with the US, with Great Britain, when these countries had their own wars, even from the days of independence and what have you, development is not a one-day thing. But the key ingredient of development is the passion-driven individuals that are leading it. What this government has expressed today by the MCC scorecard, it speaks that this government is making progress toward developing our country. To say that you talk about roads in Bapulu, really? President Weah cannot build the road. If you listen to our program, I think 3 days ago, the public works minister was here. There's already modalities worked out for those different corridors. So in closing, development is not a one-day thing. Anything that is done in a hurry is not done at all. Okay, so I just want you to know that this president, what he's done, in fact, logically, President Weah has done more than 3 years. The other 3 years were years of turbulence. We all saw it. Nothing happened in the last 3 years as compared to now. So if he has done in 3 years and the work can appreciate and say you can take 40 or 20, which left 6. The only country now in West Africa that's made that mark right now, and you saying that this man is doing nothing well. Dear Liberians, we're saying to you today, go all out on the 14th. Do not be misled by their funny talks in the corridor. They are losers. That's why they're telling you they're going to create a chaotic environment. They can't do anything. The future of Liberia is yours. Let's go all on the 14th and we elect a president. By the end of the history of years, Liberia will be way better than what it is today.
Thank you. So, Mr. Wilson, Mr. Samula, and Mr. Sheriff, thank you so much for sharing our platform tonight. We wish you all the best in your endeavors. Tomorrow we'll be here. We'll be here to crown it up. Tomorrow we'll play the voice of Senator Johnson. We'll play Kuwaba's son, his version of what happened today. Tomorrow we'll bring you the video on Senator Balut. Tomorrow night, by the grace of God, we'll be here to crown it up. All I like to say to you guys in every night is that you can sit home on Tuesday. If you love President Weah, you have to get all out there. Stand in the line. If you have to stay there for hours, you have to stay there because you don't want to come back home. And then we're sitting here on Tuesday night, and when they're calling results, and then you feel bad that, oh my God, why I didn't go and stay on that line, or why did I say I was hungry. You can be hungry today or one day, and then you allow somebody who has no plan for your country, no future for your country. Every county in this country, President Weah had 3 years, and every county has something to show. The president touched every county in this country. And every one of us know about that. And if you have people who can come from America and be grateful to President Weah, then it tells you that you who are seated here, who has a child in the University of Liberia, who has a child in the 12th grade, whose road is like my road all the way there in Johnsonville. And because people are moving in those places because President Weah was able to fix the roads there. Then you have something to continue on. And you don't want to bring somebody to power who thinks only about themselves. Senator Johnson is doing what he's doing because power is leaving him. He will not be close to the president anymore, and Nimba will be far better. That is why he doesn't want. Every day he's beating war drums. But go out there on Tuesday and vote. Number 2, vote the woman. You women, I always like to talk to you. We need to have a representative up there. A woman has to be up there so that women issues can be flagged. If you allow the men to go there, I'm sorry, but I know you're not going to do that. We'll talk to you tomorrow. Have a blessed evening.
Great.
From the east to the west, north to the south, yeah, let's come together as one. They say united we stand, divided we fall. If we not celebrate, we do it for you. Voila, you from Gentile, you from Lova County, you from Maryland. Voila, you from Rewa. I'm a bad way on young people. I'm up on the fine way. Nabila, agree welcome, I love Liberia, oh yeah yeah. Free land on liberty, Liberia, oh yeah yeah. Ah, oh yeah, I love Liberia, oh yeah yeah. They play for me and you, Liberia, oh yeah yeah. Ah, oh yeah yeah.
I was raised in the slum, but I chilled with my guns. Kept it on the low, but we fought for the bones. True son of the sun, I'm a prince in my own. Never gonna lie, me, I love